but I just was listening to a podcast and wanted to kind of talk about gratitude and talk about how being grateful for every single stage and expression of life is so utterly important. I know, when you interact with different groups of people, different individuals, you get to see the spectrum of how they view their existence or how they view the things that are around them in the world. And one thing that I've always felt is no matter where I am, how much money I do or don't have, whatever the circumstances, I've always been able to find authentically like a great deal of happiness. So, finding joy in the simplest things. I went for a walk last night and it was just such a beautiful, calm night. And I was just overtaken with this energy of immense peace and gratitude. And it didn't come from anything other than just being, just really feeling so grateful in the moment for being able to be. And sometimes, again, with gratitude, we can have so many aspects to our lives that are hyper, kind of going at hyper speed, or, we're going so fast, we're doing all these tasks, and we don't genuinely stop and allow ourselves to be grateful. And I often find that to actually have gratitude, like authentic gratitude, you almost have to be alone, because you have to be in this quiet space where you're communing with all that is, whether that's a higher power for you, whether that's nature, whatever it shows up for you in an authentic way. But for me, it's just this powerful force. Like even this walk last night, I was just so blown away by how beautiful and serene and quiet everything was around me, and just the very mechanism of breathing, like it just actually blew me away. I was just, going through the motions of breathing in and breathing out and feeling this like very calm, slow gratitude. But it was just like, it had an energy. It had this beautiful energy of just existing and everything being completely okay in the moment. And that gratitude just made me think of like, it's crazy how life takes you on these different twists and turns. And, we think we're going one direction, and all of a sudden we can end up in a totally different direction. And I've had this happen so many times in my life where, I'm on a certain track and I'm just sort of sideswiped by life. And then I end up thinking like, how did I get from here to here? Like, so an example of this would be, 15 years ago, I used to run a pet sitting company, but for livestock as well. And I was a veterinary assistant. I was working at the vet every day. And I loved this. I loved working with animals, and I loved all my clients and going to their farms. And, it was out in BC and Langley, which is where there's a lot of, horse farms, or, it's a weird way to put it, but, there's a lot of people with horses, and there's a lot of sort of hobby farms, right? And when people want to go away, they had to hire somebody to come in and take care of all of the animals. Loved that. It wasn't super lucrative at the time. And, I was also studying at the university there, studying political science and the social sciences, and never ever thought in a million years that I would open a beauty school, ever. Like, that just wasn't in the cards. If somebody would have told me that, I would have thought that they were totally insane. So how can we, it's great to say have gratitude, but what does that actually look like? Like, how do we actually show up and have gratitude? Well, essentially, first of all, just taking that time. So that silence, going into the silence and breathing. So letting out the stress and taking in with each breath, just that immense pleasure and all-encompassing warmth and feeling of being alive. Because to be alive is a gift. It doesn't matter where you are experiencing. And the way that you can rationalize this is imagine nothingness, imagine absolute nothingness, and just not being, not thinking, not having arms and legs. And, that can be a bit of a scary thought, but if you can transmute that into understanding that what you are experiencing now is so incredibly beautiful, and to kind of jettison any fear that could come from the thought of duality of the non-existence, I always think of it as, well, if you are thinking, if you are still in existence, then don't even worry about that other part. That's part of the mystery as well. What comes after, what comes next. And I've always found that what comes next is always dynamic. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's a struggle, but there's always learning in it. There's always a heroicness in it. Even if you're in, an epic battle in your life, whatever that battle may be, you still get to be the hero of your own story if you so choose. You can also be the damsel in distress, or, the villain, of course, in your own life, but you get to choose, right? And with every great story, which each and every life is kind of its own epic tale, right? And so there's going to be mountains to climb, there's going to be rivers that you have to swim across, and it is those pivotal moments where you decide your character, who you want to be, and the greatness you want to impart to your own journey, how you want to inspire others. And, I feel like, especially in modern society, there's a lot of people that have just given up on the Christopher Columbus adventurism. That's kind of sad. They've just sort of allowed themselves to be okay with a mundane existence where they sit in front of a television and watch shows that aren't real. They watch the epic adventures of others and kind of entrap their mind in that. And that's fine, but it's a sad way to live a life, and at a certain point, you kind of got to shake yourself up and realize that this is your life. This is the time, this is now. And you either live it boldly and you do it with, a fearlessness, or you're going to have regrets. You're going to have regrets that you didn't do the things that you thought, that you imagined that you might be capable of doing. Because with every year, even though we learn more, a certain amount of our vitality slips away. So, we have to be grateful for everything that we do have. We have to be grateful for what we've lived. We have to be grateful for our lessons. But then we also have to, with that gratitude, hold ourselves accountable to a higher standard. I think that's important in each and every day. Another thing that you can do that will really help with gratitude is a gratitude journal. And that's basically thanking the world in a written form for all the people that have touched your life, all of the circumstances you've been through, all the lessons, and then really sitting in deep meditative prayer and reading it aloud and feeling it, really deeply feeling the gratitude and feeling the reverence for the small things. When you walk through a park, how beautiful the trees are, the cityscapes, the fact that you have a job. If you don't have a job, the fact that you have the ability to find a job, the fact that you have safety, your children, that your family. And there's always something to be thankful for. Yeah, just being thankful for everything that you experience and all the people you meet, even the complicated ones, even the ones that kind of seem to cause chaos in your life and don't exactly show up the way you would like them to show up. They've got something to teach you. There is a reflection there. So I always remember gratitude for everything, each and every circumstance, each and every person, and gratitude for just getting to experience this journey. Planet Earth it's interesting. It's an interesting ride, and I wouldn't trade it. I certainly wouldn't trade it. I'm not saying I like every twist and turn. but again, just going back to gratitude. I think if you can start to utilize it, it'll be a powerful force in your life. Stop looking for the things that are going wrong, because what we focus on, it expands. So the more that we focus on that is going right in our lives, the more we're going to see and identify more things that are going right. The more that we see beauty in our lives, the more beautiful things are going to come into our sphere of existence. And likewise, the more that we focus on the negative and the more that we focus on a victim mentality, the more life is going to mirror that back to us and shitty things are going to happen. The more that we focus on thankfulness and just how beautifully our lives are manifesting, the more the universe is going to circle that back to us, and just, it feeds off our excitement. The excitement we bring forth to any moment is a dynamic gift to others, a dynamic gift to the quantum field, and really a beautiful gift for our own energy. So anyways, hope everybody has an absolutely fantastic day. I know I will, in all regards. Yeah.